Happy Feast of Wintervale, and welcome back for Game 5 of this semi-final matchup between Zenstyle and Puffin. Zenstyle is going to be desperate to get this win, as this may be his last chance to claim a title in an official Hearthstone tournament. The game is about to begin, so we'll get started.
All right, we are in game, and Zenstyle looks like to be bringing his Tempo Mage again up against Puffin's Oil Rogue. This should be a very interesting matchup because while Tempo Mage relies heavily on strong early turns and tempo swings through the secrets like Mirror Entity, the Oil Rogue is a combo deck and it relies on its spells to burst down the opponent, meaning that it's going to be able to ignore almost all of the early gameplay from Zenstyle. And he's going to be a little bit worried about this early game though, because Zenstyle's got almost the perfect hand in this early game. Those double mana worms and the Mirror Entity Secret, he's set up for a very, very strong early game, and he's going to need it if he's going to bring down this Oil Rogue, because the power of the combo decks is that you can ignore the early threat minions and just wait and patiently wait on those cards to come out. That Sorcerer's Apprentice draw from Zenstyle, though, is going to be a very strong addition to the board, because with no minions to target with those spells, he needed that early 2-drop to be able to stay on curve and ahead of the tempo without having to waste any of those spells on face damage when he really wants to save those for control. The problem is, on the other side of the board, Puffin's already got several of the combo pieces that he's going to want to use. That Eviscerate's going to be a great way to get rid of that Mana Worm and stop some of that early pressure, and being able to double that up with the SI7, this is a very, very strong turn 3 for Puffin. Zenstyle gets another card. He doesn't really need it yet, but he's got enough cards in his arsenal that he should be able to quickly seize back this board control. And he does just that and sends it back over to Puffin. You know, it's interesting. Puffin's done so well lately. He's been such a come-out-of-nowhere player, and he's versus this legend, so to speak, of Hearthstone. He's just dominated over the past year or so in Zenstyle. But Zenstyle just has not been up to par lately, and he's got to be really worried at this point, having to take this best-of-5 semi-final series all the way to Game 5. He was definitely hoping to close this out a lot earlier, but the Malygos Warlock and the mid-range Druid could not stand up against the Freeze Mage and the Zoo Warlock that Puffin played earlier in the series. That Sharp Sword Oil play is gonna really take control of the board again, and Zenstyle's got to be a little bit worried. He doesn't have any minions in his hand. He can play the Mirror Image, which he does, but that really doesn't accomplish anything for him as a tempo. And the Mirror Entity should prevent a major minion coming down from Puffin. He's gotta know that's a Mirror Entity, but he's gonna play the Sludge Belcher anyway. It's a smart play. Even though he's giving Zenstyle the Sludge Belcher, he knows that once he gets his combo cards, that's not going to be that's an unexpected ally in Archmage Antonidas, but that draw may be exactly what Zenstyle needs to push this game out of reach. He's going to be able to clear that Sludge Belcher of Puffin's, leaving him with a wall of taunts to protect an Archmage Antonidas that with that coin can come down as early as next turn. He can always decide not to do that, however, because of that synergy between Archmage Antonidas and then using a coin to then drop another spell. Puffin's really got no choice at this point but to play for the extra card draws. He needs to get some more cards in his hand. He's looking for those combo pieces, and he's not really finding them yet. He's got a few of them, but he's really going to need these next few draws. Unstable Portal is a great draw for Zenstyle in this situation. He had the Antonidas play, but having the ability to do something less aggressive than that while he's already got fairly good board control is excellent. And a 5-cost Kel'Thuzad, that is huge. That is absolutely pivotal for Zenstyle. The power that minion brings to the board is only a 5-cost. It could be a game changer. Oh, but Puffin's going to play the Loatheb, it looks like. Ordinarily, that would be an extremely intelligent play because Puffin knows how much Zenstyle's Tempo Mage relies on spells to clear the board and make sure it maintains board control. So he plays it, but there are no spells in Zenstyle's hand that he's really interrupting right now, and that utility has gone to waste. I'd expect Zenstyle to go for, the Azure Drake again. He needs that spell. A counter spell. It's not a huge spell, especially with the Loatheb having gone down. He's going to try and take back board control next turn, I would imagine. Oh, now Puffin has a very interesting choice here. I'm very curious to see. He has the ability to clear Zenstyle's board, I think. Yes, he does. He has the ability to clear Zen Style's board right now and even get in some face damage and start prepping for that combo. He's got that deadly poison in his hand along with the Blade Flurry. He plays the sprint, and this is a very important point because a lot of newer players would have probably played deadly poison into Blade Flurry to clear the board so that they can then get the 9 damage from the minions into the face of Zen Style. But that would waste a stack of the blade, so instead, Puffin uses his minions to do the majority of the clearing, and he still has another stack to use his Blade Flurry on next turn. It's a much more intelligent play. That's the kind of play that someone who knows the game is going to play versus a newer player and the mistake that they might make. Zen Style coming up huge with those draws. The piloted Shredder is going to be a great play. And with the Kel'Thuzad coming down, it's going to be really hard for Puffin to deal with this. But that sprint, though, it drew the combo cards that he needed. That, I think, honestly was his game-winning turn. That turn 8 play where he made that intelligent play that we were talking about with playing of the sprint instead of the Blade Flurry combo. I think that's all he's going to need. Returning Kel'Thuzad to the hand, that bumps it up to an 8 cost instead of being a 5 cost like it had been. Zen Style's looking like he may be in trouble. He's got a handful of minions, but he doesn't have the mana to play them because they are such a high cost combo for most of these minions. He's able to get 2 fireballs out of that Antonidas, and that's a strong play, but I just don't think it's going to be enough now that Puffin's holding on to the combo in hand. I'd expect him to just go face damage at this point. He could also clear the Antonidas with the Blade Flurry and expending some of his minions, and that spell damage from Blood Mage Thalnos is really going to make things incredibly, incredibly powerful for Puffin. Counterspell stops the backstab, but he's got another one in his hand. There's no stopping Puffin at this point. I think he's really got this game on lockdown. That Blade Flurry will all but clear the Antonidas, and getting that little extra face damage as well. This is really looking bad for Zen Style. He would need an absolutely perfect draw. I don't even know what card he could draw at this point to try and take this game back. Puffin's just in so much control, and he's got the Dr. Boom sitting in his hand as well. They both have it, but Zen Style is not in a situation where he can keep that Dr. Boom on the board for very long, whereas Puffin, he's got all of the tools in his arsenal to defend against whatever Zen Style might have. That Mirror Entity is going to be a must as he's trying to divert whatever damage he can with only 6 HP left. A little friendly emote spamming there, it's always fun to see. And there is that Dr. Boom. That could be the game-closing death knell for Zen Style, and just knocking him out of this tournament and denying him that one last chance at a tournament win.
I'm ready to learn.
The Blade Flurry will deal almost all the damage it needs to. He's got a little bit left to take out those taunt minions. This is one of my favorite part about the rogue or any of the classes that rely on weapons. When you have a spell that destroys the weapon, if you use it first in the turn, you can still drop another weapon and still have the ability to attack. And that's what Puffin just did there. It's such a hugely powerful play that a lot of newer players will miss. Zen Style plays the Cone of Cold, hoping to just delay some of this damage, but both Boombots hit him directly in the face, leaving him at only 2 HP. That is the end of the game. This game is officially over. Puffin has won the match. He will be moving on to the championship series tomorrow, leaving Zen Style out in the cold. And you really have to wonder what that kind of means for a player like Zen Style, where he's been struggling so much lately. A lot of his sponsors have already begun to move on to younger players who have had more success lately. But we hope to see him playing again, and congratulations, Puffin.